Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of session 68. Previous session, if you remember, we were developing a Angular project, HTTP project, CRUD project, completely end to end. So this was something which I have done till now. That is, if I click on this view button, it goes to a view page. If I click on edit, it goes to edit page, and if I click on edit, it deletes the data. Fine. So the that was something till now we have done. So what I will do is let me just post this into the repository. Let's call it as session 68, day 68, and this is part 1 code. So for part 1 code, what all things I did, I actually created a a new http CRUD project, right? So I created something like that, and then no standalone. So this is something we have done, and after doing that, I actually copied the db.json, copy any previous db.json and edit it. So what I did was, I'll go here, and this db.json, I'll show you what you have to edit it like. Initially the db.json looked like this, just the superheroes, and I had nothing in there, right? So this is how it looked like before, an empty array. So this is my db.json. So you have to do that, and then after that what you do is you hit this particular command, which is sorry, json hyphen server hyphen hyphen watch db.json. So that's something which you have to do, and once this is done, we started our application development, right? And after that I hit a ng generate service, and I generated the service here, right? So let me go to that. So here, if you remember, we generated the service and the component. So the very first thing, we generated a superhero service. Superhero service, that is what I generated, and after that I perform the, yeah, let me give you the superhero service first. Service dot typescript, and here is the superhero service dot typescript, where I have written all the functionalities, add, delete, and everything. Then the next thing is, I modified the app.module.typescript, where I injected the HTTP client module and the forms module. So let me give you that as well. So this is my app module.typescript. Do not copy paste everything, as I always suggest you. And after that I modified my app dash routing dot module dot typescript. So if you have not watched the previous video, I recommend you to watch the previous video, because this is just a continuation of the previous thing that we have left. Okay, so this is what we have done in part 1, and also after that I generated a few components. So let me, before you do this app dash routing module dot typescript, before you modify this, you generate the components. So I did a ng generate component, and I generated a superhero list component. Fine. So then I generated a edit component, add component, delete component. Edit, add, delete. So it was superhero. This is what I generated. So you can see that on the terminal as well. Superhero list component I generated. I generated the add component, view, and edit component. So up to this we have done, and after performing this routing, I modified two of the files. One is the list dot component, list component, which is actually a superhero list hyphen component dot TypeScript. So I changed that superhero list component. This is my superhero list component, and also a superhero HTML. So let's go to superhero HTML. And mainly I also changed what? app.component.html, right? Where I just written the router outlet. All done. So up to this we have done in our previous session itself. So in this session, let us try to add a new hero. So if you remember in the previous session, while inserting the data, I made a mistake that I made this ID as integer. So I'm saving it here itself so that if I wish to delete that, I could easily delete this ID. Fine. So I'm just saving it. I'll go back. This is my application which is up and running. So I would require another button that will add a superhero, and it will take me to heroes slash add. So it will take me to this particular URL, and here I have to design the superhero add in a way that it reads all the details and adds a new superhero here. Fine. So let us create a button now on this particular page itself, which is view list HTML. Okay, so here I would require a button. Maybe at the top I'm going to create a button. Okay, it will be a button, and upon click of this particular button, it takes acha. So I already have the navigation created here. So let's take this button. This button is gonna be add button. So router link, there is heroes slash add, and hero ID will not be required for this, just a slash add. Let's call it as add. Okay, let us test this, or we will call it as add hero. Add hero. Let's save it and test it whether the things work fine or not. So here we have a add hero button. Upon click of that add hero, so I am able to go to the add hero component. So let us now design the add hero component in a way that it adds a new hero to our application. So I'll go to the add hero component. Yeah, here is the add component. So in the add hero component, let us go to the add hero component TypeScript first, and configure it according to our requirement. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'll be injecting the service first, right? So let's inject the service constructor, again a private hero service of type, I think I have created it as superhero service, right? So this is superhero service. So we will be injecting this now. Upon click of this add, what we are going to do is we will just be saving a superhero. Fine. So for that, I'll create a hero is equal to new superhero. An object will be created, and this will be bind at the HTML side, and we are going to save that particular object itself. So let's call it as a save method, and then in the save method, simply what I'm going to do is I'll just be saying that this dot hero service dot add hero dot subscribe. Fine. So add hero, the hero that we have created above, which will be bind by using two-way data binding at the HTML side. So subscribe, again, if it gives us data, give us the data. If it gives us an error, just console log the error, console.log error. So if there is the data that we are getting, in that case we will just print a alert message, alert saying hero added. Fine. So if I wish to just take back this hero and navigate it back to the main page, I can simply do that as well, right? So we can just use the router and navigate it back to that. So as of now, let this be as it is. Later we can do it, or else if we wish to add it now itself, we can simply do what? We can get the route service needs to be injected. So private route of type Angular route, and let's check what is the issue. Let's call it as my route. Oh, sorry, it should be Angular router. Let's delete the route stuff that we have included. Okay, so we will just be doing a navigation here. So let's remove that confusion. Instead of writing a route, I will make it router itself, so that you are not confused which one has to be taken. My router. So upon save, you take me to the previous page, that is the main page. So it will be what? The router, which is my router dot navigate. Navigate back to what? Back to the heroes. Fine. Slash heroes. Let's save it. So this will just add the hero, and it will also navigate us back to the hero. If there is an error, it is going to give us an error. Now let us design an HTML so that we can take the data from the user about this hero and add that hero to the uh, application. Fine. So let's go to the hero add HTML. So here, first of all, I'll just remove that add stuff and everything that's given there. So now I will just be going for an input type. So this input type will be of type text, right? And it will be bind to the hero ID that I have created in the application. So it will be hero.id, sorry, ng model hero ID. So likewise, I'm gonna create the inputs for all the other three properties. One was for ID, then we have the name, then we have power and universe, right? Okay, that looks good. And after that, I will be creating a button. Upon click of that button, that save method has to be called, right? So let's create a button. Upon click of this button, the method save has to be called, and let's call it as add. That's done. So let us test this whether we will be able to add a hero or not. So let's click on this add hero. So I did not give the placeholder, so let's give the placeholder as well. The reason why I'm not designing it well and good is because later I want to design it. First I want to just check the functionalities. So placeholder ID, name, power and universe. Let's save it, so it should display me all that. So ID2 is what I want to insert any superhero. Maybe let's call it as any power, some power, universe, some universe. So I'll just click on add. It says hero added. Let's click OK. So you can see that superhero, any superhero, some power, some universe. So we have successfully created a add functionality for our superhero. So that actually adds the superhero and takes us back to the main page. Fine. So similarly, what we are going to do is we will be performing an edit superhero and delete superhero for the same. Delete we have already implemented, right? So we can go for the view and edit for the same. Okay. So the next thing, I'll go for a editing the superhero, and we will go. As for now, we will keep this add as it is. So we are done with that. And yes, I will give you the add functionality separately. So this is gonna be my superhero add component. Part 2 add is what I will call it as. Part 2 add. This is superhero add file, TypeScript. add.typescript, which by now you already know the file names, right? And this will be the add.html. I'm not writing the full name of that as superhero component HTML and all that. Okay, so we'll commit the changes. Done. Okay, let's come back and oh sorry, add the this is the component HTML TypeScript. Fine. So the next thing will be what? The edit stuff. So let's go to superhero edit and edit the TypeScript. So once again here in the edit TypeScript, we know that if somebody clicks on the edit, it should come up here, takes the path parameter here. There is one path parameter. That hero's detail has to be displayed, and upon that details the hero's detail has to be displayed. Whatever user changes, it can be changed, and the user clicks on save. The new data has to be saved. Fine. So what I'm gonna do for that is, once again, it is quite similar to add. So I'll go back and first of all, we will take what? We will take the same old thing which we have taken in the add, that is the hero object, then inject the service. We'll take the update method instead of the save method. So I'll just do a copy paste and change the required stuff there. Fine. So a superhero has to be injected. Let's inject that. And then in the constructor, service has to be taken. So let's take that service. And yeah, so if we want a router service, we can keep that router service so that we can navigate it back to the original stuff. And here I would require an activated route so that I can read this ID here, 1 2 3 4, whatever ID is given, I want to read that ID. So to do that, if you remember, we have already discussed about this activated route when we were discussing about the routing in Angular. So that's something I have taken. So all done. Then the next thing what I'm gonna do is the moment this page is loaded, at that time I want to load that ID, and I want to update the display the data. Fine. So for this, let's call this as display. Some display function is something we will take, or we will say get or something. Okay. So get data function we will take, and this will not add it. This is actually gonna do perform what? This is actually perform a get by ID. Okay, get hero by ID, and that takes a ID. So we'll be passing the ID there, and if the data is returned, then the hero that we have created, the hero object that we have created, that will be initialized. So this dot hero is gonna be the data. It is going to return us a single data, and if there is an error, it should print us the error. Fine. So the next thing what I'm gonna do is that I will be taking the ID. So if I want an ID, then I have to take it from the route params, right? So let's go for what? Let's go for activated route. So it should be a this dot activated route, which I have taken there. It is, let me check. So one thing I've taken is heroes, that's fine. Superhero service. Second is router. Yeah, third one I did not make it private, so that's why it's not visible. Now it should be activated route. Fine. So this is something which I'm gonna subscribe. So the params of ID has to be subscribed. Fine. So when I perform this, this again gives me either the data or the error, right? So params dot subscribe, and subscribe to the data. So in this case, if there is the data, then give me what? The params of ID. params of id dot subscribe. So let's check. Index type observables. Okay, this dot maybe let's create a let id equals to, and here we will just be simply doing what, data equals to params of id. All right, so it requires an ID and we have to take the ID for this. So what I will do now is I should actually be able to create this. Let's try it one more time. So this is activated route dot params dot subscribe, and data is equal to let id equals to an empty id. Let's do a console.log id, so that we just check whether the ID is being retrieved or not. Let's save it, and that should happen upon click. Okay, data, all that is fine. Now console log error, and this method has to be called on the load itself. So we are gonna just perform an implements on init, and an ng on init will be required. This will do a get data for me. We will load the data, and that's fine. So get data should work, and then call that. And we should also do what, the change detector reference has to be taken. That is when we are using the zoneless application. If you remember, while creating this Angular, I created it as zoneless. So private cdr is equal to change detector reference. So here we will do a cdr dot detect changes. This get by id will take the id. Let's save it. Let's come down here and check the console whether the data is read or not. So you can see that the id 1 is being read. So that's fine. So now we have subscribed to the uh, id that is coming up from here. So if I click on this edit, and you can see that id 2 will be taken. So that way we can read it. So we have read it, and that means actually we can even read the data. So if I console log the data here, if the heroes is being console log, you can see that the heroes will be read. So hero, that data will be the entire data. Like if I click on this any superhero and all, so that data will be displayed to me. If I go back and click on this, so it will show me that detail. Fine. So that way we have actually performed a retrieval of the data, and then what we require is we would require to update this data that we are retrieving there. So we will write an update for this. Okay, and then update we simply need to subscribe to the put method that we have created. So this dot hero service dot uh, update hero dot subscribe. Fine. So update hero takes an argument, that is the hero. So this dot subscribe, and the subscribe also takes two argument. We know that it takes the data or the error. So in case of data, we are simply going to tell that the data is updated. So sorry, console.log. They should print me error. In case of error, in case of data, it should tell me that the hero is updated and navigate back to the heroes. Okay, so let's print an alert, hero updated, and navigate us back to what we came from. Start my router dot navigate, and navigate to what URL, the slash heroes URL. So that will take us to the main page. So let's save it, and now let us design the HTML for this. So what we are going to do for this is that the HTML will again be the same, the ID, name, power, and everything will be taken, and it will have the data as whatever data is there in the hero. So I'll go to the add, and from here I'll just copy this add, superhero edit HTML. I'll go here, let's remove this, paste this. So everything looks good except the update. Okay, let's call it as update. Let's save it, test this. So I'll click on this application. So you can see that ID1 Shaktiman flying test is being taken. So this is what universe, right? So let's add it to some universe, update it. So it says hero updated. It should go back and change that universe here. So we are done with what? Editing a superhero. So we in the previous examples, previous sessions, we were able to do what? We were able to read all the details and display that. In this session, we are able to add the superhero. We are able to edit it and delete. We have already done in the previous session itself. So let me just give you the edit code for this, and the view is quite similar, right? So edit HTML and edit TypeScript. Add a file. Let's call it as part to edit. This is our edit HTML. The above one is edit TypeScript. Okay, so now we are done with the edit as well. The last thing is what? It is about the view. Fine, so let's go to the view part and subscribe to the view and retrieve the details accordingly. Add is done, edit is done. Let's go to view. List is also done. In this TypeScript, I'd require things like what? Things like edit, so that I can subscribe to the ID and everything. So you can see that it's kind of that edit itself. In the view, I should be able to get all of that and just display it. In the edit, I should be able to edit it, right? Only thing is that instead of an input type text, it will be uh, just a normal paragraphs or something. So what I will do is I'll go to the edit component or TypeScript, and get these details from there, which will have an ng on in it, and the constructor and a get data. It will not have an update. So view component TypeScript will have all of this, and then First of all, it should implement the on init. Then let's just inject everything. So this is superhero service that needs to be injected, just a control space and enter. So this is Angular router, that's fine. And the activated route, change detector reference. Okay, so yeah, this .hero object, everything is created, and then now I have to simply inject that. All right, so let's now design the view HTML. View HTML would be similar to the edit component HTML. Let's go to the view HTML now. Okay, and here we can have a back button that takes us back to the uh, previous page, that is the heroes. Fine, so we will just be taking that, and instead of this input type text and all that, we will simply have a all disabled stuff, or maybe just the paragraphs. A paragraph that displays us hero.id. We can even put the labels here, like let's have a pre tag and do all that. So id should be hero.id. Similarly, name, power and universe. Name, power, universe. Okay, all done. Let's just save it. And I think I did not save the other part, superhero. Let's, yeah, that's saved. Yeah, update is not required here, so I'm just gonna clean up that, save it. So all done. Let's check this now. View should display me all the details, that's fine. Displaying me the details accordingly. Okay, edit allows me to edit something, and delete just deletes that. Add a superhero adds a new superhero. Similarly, also on this view, let's give a back button for the user so that a user can go back. Okay, and for that I will go to the list. So superhero add is there, superhero list component here, HTML, and in the view HTML we'll have this back button. Let's call it as back. It'll just go to the heroes. Let's save it. View back. Fine. So that way we can implement the view functionality as well. So let me give you that view functionality. So this is view.html and view.typescript. Let's call it as part 2 view. Alright, so in this session what I have done is I have implemented the functionalities. Still you can see that the look and feel of this application isn't looking prettier like my book app, which I showed you in part 1, right? So in my next session I will teach you how are you going to make use of the AI to just make your application look pretty, and also implement bootstrap in this so that we can make this application look prettier. Functionality wise everything is working perfectly fine. Only thing is that we have to make it look prettier, and in the next session I'll show you how can you make your application look prettier. So just wait for part 3, and in part 3 we will finish off this application and make this application look prettier like the book app. See you in the next video.